All right, well, you join me inside the GV80 as a little chill POV drive. So you get a good idea for what this vehicle is about from the cockpit area. And you can also admire this pretty epic interior as well with the diamond stitching, all the good stuff. But again, I already did a full review on this vehicle, so you can go ahead and watch that. But I'll touch on a few other things, like first thing, this super tight U-turn that I'm about to make. Very nice for a large vehicle, coming in at about 195 inches long. Pretty good. Because of the size of this vehicle, it more so competes with the BMW X5, the GLE Mercedes, a new one, as well as, well, this actually really sits a notch above the RX 350 Lexus because, well, this is built from the ground up to be a rear-wheel drive platform, much like the X5s and the GLEs, etc. But again, watch my full review. I go into a lot of details, and honestly, I still left out some details, or else that video would have been like an hour long, but they really, man, the painstaking detail that goes into this vehicle is just insane. Both in the platform, the chassis work, but also this interior space, it is just a very stunning thing to behold for sure. I was just in awe of it, and so was just about everybody who saw this vehicle. People just loved this thing. They were gawking at it out on the street. You know, people were coming up to me for the first time. You know, stuff like that just does not happen with the Beamers and the Benzes and the Audis anymore. They're commonplace now. Everybody's got one. It's not even special anymore to have one of those vehicles, but this is, right? So this has swagger. This has presence. This has like this ambiance that makes people curious and makes them want to ask you questions, basically. And when you open up that door, show them these seats, show them this interior, they continue to be mind blown by this. I will say, this vehicle is not cheap. You know, this particular model is about $71,000. Again, like I mentioned in the review, you don't have to pay that much. Just get the twin turbo V6. I do recommend people doing that. It's a good motor. It's direct injected and multi-port injected, actually, so it's got both going on. Produces 375 horses, 391 pounds-feet of torque. You know what I'm saying? Good power output for a vehicle that weighs about 5,000 pounds. It really doesn't need this engine. But you can have all that and a majority of the features for about $65,000 with the advanced trim. So that's what I would recommend. This is the prestige trim, of course. And I would recommend you going on their website and seeing, you know, what options you get with all these trims, so you can make a good educated guess as to what vehicle you need. I have not tried the 4-cylinder, but that does produce about 300 horsepower and about 311 pounds-feet of torque. Power output isn't bad. The thing I really want to know most about that is how smooth it is, because I've driven some of the Mercedes 4-cylinders, and they are just not that smooth, to be honest with you. So something to keep in mind. But again, I do like this chassis for sure. It's just that going over some of the smaller bumps here with the 22-inch wheels, you can feel a little jittery, not uncomfortable, but you just kind of feel it a little bit more than you probably should. But that can be fixed with the smaller wheels that you get with the advanced trim. You get 20-inch rims, basically. So these 22s, they do look stunning. It really does finish off the look of this vehicle. And it's just a gray SUV, but it still demands so much attention. It's got safety features for days, of course. More so than Mercedes. I actually think that this is the most amount of safety features I have actually ever seen on a vehicle. So, I mean, you crush this, then you got some problems, my friend. Very nice, slow and steady, just getting people's way. So, you know, if you're getting in people's way, you know, if we're doing 15 miles an hour under the speed limit over to Nordstrom's, I mean, maybe the 4-cylinder could be okay for you. I mean, if that's how you truly drive. You know, taking corners at like 5 miles an hour like these people, you know, maybe the 4-cylinder could be okay. Again, my issue isn't with the power, it's more so with the smoothness. I think Audi's got the smoothest 4-cylinder turbo ever in the market. I would have to see how this one behaves and performs. Brakes are great. They're actually very touchy, to be honest with you. Of course, there's roll in the chassis. You know, at-limit handling isn't this vehicle's forte. It's not supposed to be, but it's very good nonetheless. really like the visibility of this vehicle, and getting up to speed, of course, is no troubles. But yeah, like I mentioned, the A-pillars in this, very skinny, actually. I do like that a lot. So visibility is pretty good for a large SUV. But yeah, this V6 is pretty refined. There's just a small delay when you have it in the normal mode. When you have it in the sport mode, of course, it becomes very immediate. But most importantly, though, when you play with these paddles, right? I honestly, I really thought that they put a ZF 8-speed in here. That's how crisp it is to downshift and upshift, actually. Almost no delay, very nice. This is the in-house built 8-speed automatic from Genesis. So they really refined the hell out of this. They made it quick. Excellent job with the transmission. Love that. Brakes, like I mentioned, very touchy, but it gives you a lot of confidence. Really stops this thing on a dime. No problems. And as you can see right there, when you have the signal on, it actually shows you like a little camera view, basically. So it really eliminates the blind spot. It's actually a nice little feature to have. Not a bad safety feature, honestly. So, you know, take advantage of that. Pretty good stuff there. This vehicle's got 265 wide tires. That's actually the exact same width for all the rim sizes, basically. Even if you got the 19-inch wheels, you're still going to get 265 wide tires in all four corners. So pretty wide, beefy tires for what this is. And that's pretty cool. But despite it, you know, these are the Michelin Primacy tires, all-season Tourings, and they're very quiet. Excellent OEM tire choice for sure. And because of that, this vehicle is very quiet. But they actually also worked on the refinement of this vehicle just endlessly. They did such a great job. And these wheels, I think it goes for all the wheels, but they're like these two-piece wheels essentially, right? And what ends up happening because it's a two-piece wheel is that it actually reduces some of the tire noise, turbulence, resonance that you get. So that's something that they actually engineered with these wheels, basically. An acoustic glass, double pane glass for the front windows here, not for the rear. But again, very quiet, so quiet. Love that. And there's even a frequency that the speakers, these Lexicon audio system speakers, put out to actually further reduce the unnecessary noises that you get. So they really put a lot of thought into this vehicle. They try to make this like this isolated chamber of a vehicle that's really comfortable, really quiet. They nailed it, man. This is a great SUV. Now, I will say, like I mentioned in the original review I did, they could have worked on the suspension a little bit more, calibrated a little bit. It doesn't quite have the same magic and the same quality as the G80 sedan I used to have, the previous generation 2018. But I kind of expected that. They're trying to go for like this kind of off-road nature with this vehicle. So I had to have some capability out there as well, not just out of the street. So I kind of forgive it for it, but I really like this two-spoke steering wheel here. That's very nice. But yeah, suspension overall isn't bad. For a casual drive down to Nordstrom, I think you'll be okay. This vehicle does have the electronic limited slip diff. That's something that you get with the Prestige trims, but not really necessary. Again, just for screwing around, doing 500 the speed limit here. You don't really need all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Advanced trim all the way. But the chassis is great. That's what I like about this vehicle. This thing's got potential, and I mentioned that the G80 chassis was also incredible, the old one. I have not driven the new G80, but I'll end off with this. You know, if you're a true aristocrat, you know, 1%er, upper echelon individual, you know, you're switching in and out of these vehicles, give Genesis a chance, please. I think this is a vehicle that you should try to put on your driveway for multiple reasons. Like I mentioned, I think this is the best interior you can get for under $70,000. No questions asked. Not just because of the design, but also the solidity. Yeah, the tech, they did overcomplicate it more than I would like, but it does look cool, and that's what most people want, and they gave that to you. So everything's all futuristic feeling, I suppose, so you can play with that. But most importantly, like I mentioned, it looks great, it's stunning, it's solid. You got plenty of safety tech here, and it has like this baller, prestigious look to it from the outside. The big chrome grille, everything about it. It's got this six-figure look to it, while costing about half of that, basically around 65 grand. But it looks like twice the price essentially. That's why people keep gawking at it. They keep looking at it. They keep asking questions about it. It's because of the presence, and honestly, there's a prestige now to Genesis. So I think they single-handedly pulled that off just by producing this vehicle. Even on the internet, people aren't scoffing this vehicle. So I think that's a pretty good testament to what they've been able to pull off here. Do I recommend this vehicle? Yeah, give it a chance at least. I mean, most people who buy these vehicles are in and out of these vehicles within a year or two. So yeah, just give it a chance, see if you like it. I think you will. So with that, you let me know in the comment section what you think about the new GV80, and please do make sure to watch my full review. I'll leave a link down to that below. Thanks again for watching. Take care and goodbye.